What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Bandit, and today I'm going to be talking about one of the most powerful breakers in 1v1, Charizard Mega Y. This Pokemon consistently sits between the S and A rankings on the Smogon VR, and for very good reason. It is one of the most powerful Fire-type attackers, and it carries some very incredible coverage. Having that Grass-type move as a Fire-type Pokemon is absolutely phenomenal, as Drought lets it use it in one turn and pushes Blast Burn to scary levels of damage. Blast Burn, of course, is essential for defeating the Steel types of the tier, namely Megairna, Aegislash, Metagross, Celesteela, and Mega Mawile. Solar Beam is essential to have on the set, as you do need a way to take on water types. Things like Gyarados and Greninja, especially defensive Primarina, Tapu Fini, and Mega Swampert. Air Slash is really nice to have for the 2-hit KO potential, plus its little flinch chance, the 30% chance to beat things straight up, like Golem that would otherwise crush you, but you can just roll the dice, get that flinch, and take the undeserved win. And then the last move on the set you'll see is Flame Charge, which is an extremely useful tech used against things like Substitute Metagross and Substitute Jumpluff. After Jumpluff puts you to sleep and sets up a sub, you can just boost your speed and break it, and then KO with Blast Burn the following turn. Flame Charge is also essential if you want to beat Water EMZ Caracosta, as you can Flame Charge up, break the Sturdy as it Shell Smashes, and then Solar Beam KO the following turn before it hits you. The second quintessential moveset to talk about is the modest HP Electric Charizard. This has enough defense to let it take on Mega Gyarados comfortably, and 2-hit KO with the combination of Hidden Power Electric and Solar Beam. This moveset also carries Blast Burn and Air Slash because they're so good at taking on things like Como-O, Mega Venusaur, Sub Pheromosa, and other fighting types like that. Having defense investment means that you can actually tank a hit on the physical side, and 208 speed ensures that you outspeed Jolly Mega Gyarados before Dragon Dance. Moveset number 3 is Specially Defensive Anti-Greninja. This moveset is guaranteed to take on both Specs Greninja, Water EMZ Greninja, and Choice Scarf Porygon Z, as having 248 in HP and 84 in special defense allows you to take both of those hits quite well, Charizard having very strong natural special bulk. The moveset looks just like the first one, as you are going to be running your 3 primary moves, your 2 stabs, and of course your grass coverage. Flame Charge is preferred on this set, as it does give you a leg up versus things like Jumpluff. Set number 4 is Max Speed Naive Anti-Charizard. This is the moveset to use if your goal is to beat other Charizards. It has Rock Tomb, which is a guaranteed 2-hit KO on other Charizard Y, and Rock Tomb plus Dragon Pulse is a KO on Charizard X. The investment here is maximum speed, so that you speed tie Jolly Charizard X after Rock Tomb and Dragon Dance, and all of the points in defense and HP ensure that you survive an Outrage at +0 on the first turn of the match. So this is guaranteed to beat every other Charizard, provided that you win the speed tie if your opponent is max speed. And other than that, you are guaranteed to pretty much win against any other Charizard, even given that your attack and special attack are uninvested. Charizard Y having such a huge special attack stat that it really doesn't need anything at all in order to be hitting things ridiculously hard. Set number 5 to cover is the Max Defense Will-O-Wisp Roost Counter. I covered a similar set for Charizard X, who I feel pulls off this strategy just a little bit better, given that it can control its typing to some extent. Charizard Y having that Will-O-Wisp, helping it against sturdy Pokemon like Avalugg with Rock EMZ, and for sure Blast Burn is the move to have on the set. You could alt this out for maybe Solar Beam, but all in all, it's important to keep the Fire Stab even on defensive Charizard sets. Counter can surprise a lot of physical attackers. The combination of Will-O-Wisp and Roost can stall out a whole bunch, and once something is around, 60%, it's probably going to die to a low invested Blast Burn anyway. Finally, I'd like to take a look at some of the other options that Charizard Y does have. Focus Blast is sometimes used, but I really don't recommend using Focus Blast as the accuracy is so terrible. It's got 70% accuracy, which means that in the situation where you need to land it twice, you're only actually going to land it both times 49% of the time, which is really bad. That's worse than coin flip odds if you're trying to 2-hit KO a Steel type with this move. So all in all, if your goal is to beat something like Heatran, I actually recommend switching over to the physical side and using the combo of Rock Tomb and Earthquake. You do need just a little bit of attack investment if you want to KO max HP Heatran, but this is actually more reliable than trying to land 2 Focus Blasts in a row. Substitute is always a good move on virtually every Pokemon, especially if you're fast, and Charizard Y is no exception. If you want to get the jump on status users and some stat boosters, Substitute is definitely the way to go. It can also help you out against Z moves. The very last thing I'm going to discuss for Charizard Y move options is your options of Fire-type moves. I've been talking a lot about Blast Burn and how it is probably the best Fire-type move for Charizard given its huge base power at 150, plus Drought just means you OHKO everything, and the 90 accuracy really isn't so bad when you consider the alternatives. The next move would be Fire Blast, which is significantly less base power with only 5 accuracy dropped. The upside to using Fire Blast is you can use it multiple times in a row. There is no recharge penalty, and there is no special attack drop penalty like with Overheat, which is also a viable option. If you desperately need to use 2 fire moves in succession, you just can't stand the recharge turn, Overheat is probably your best option. If you want to be that guy and run 2 fire moves so that you have the option to not have to recharge, I recommend using Blast Burn and Flamethrower. As Flamethrower, you don't have to worry about accuracy at all, and you're guaranteed to do huge damage regardless, as even though your base power isn't that high, you still have the Sun Up, and you're still Charizard Y, so this is going to hurt regardless, and you don't have to worry about getting subbed up on or anything like that. So overall, that's, I think, all of the relevant moves for Charizard Y. I'm going to run down this just to make sure. I think I've covered everything relevant. Bulldoze is potentially a tech, but Rock Tomb is probably better in most cases. Endure can help you beat Hyper Beam and Giga Impact users, but you can kind of pull off the same thing just with EVs, so I don't necessarily recommend it. Fly can potentially get you past a couple of things, but I don't recommend that move either, especially for special attacking Charizard Y. And I think that pretty much wraps this up. I'm not seeing anything else that I think is super relevant, and I think in general Charizard should be sticking to the Blast Burn, Solar Beam, Air Slash combo with a 4th slot that can change to whatever needs to be defeated by that Charizard set. That about wraps up my analysis of Charizard Y in the 1v1 tier. Thank you all so much for watching. Please leave a like or a comment if you enjoyed, and I hope to see you all again next time.